Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, now we are starting the session. So, hello, good evening, everyone. We are very delighted to have Mr. Sumit Aggarwal as our speaker for today's Online Eminent Alumni Lecture. He is our alumni and received his bachelor's degree in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering from our college, National Institute of Technology, formerly Regional Engineering College, Durgapur, in 1998. He did his Master's of Business Administration from University of Maryland, Robert H. Smith School of Business, and Mr. Aggarwal has been a professional agile coach from more than 20 years with extensive experience in both public and private sectors. Currently, he is an agile coach at National Student Clearinghouse, Virginia, United States. We are very delighted to have you, sir, and we welcome you with great pleasure. And we request you to please take over the session, sir. Sir, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here. And I also want to thank you, first of all of you, Student Alumni Interaction Cell, to make it happen, as well as CAIR, which is Center for Alumni Affairs and International Relations. So having said that, you guys have seen most topics on maybe engineering or different career topics. For me today, I thought this topic I'll talk here because I felt this is an important topic that we don't teach in colleges, but we need to have those soft skills to be successful in life. So different topic, different mindset, but I hope you will like it. So basically, what I would like to start with is what about a little bit about myself. As already, may I know your name, please? Who just introduced me?
Yes, sir, Nasir.
Nasir. So as Nasir already introduced me, thank you. I am in Agile for more than 8 years now. I am an Agile coach, Agile team facilitation. I love to coach teams to be successful, to become a high-performing team. I am married with 2 kids. I love to play sports and watch as well. In Durgapur, we did play a lot of sports in the old ground. I know what's the new name now. And I believe in 2 quotes. Everything happens for a reason. And be positive. Life is good. So having said that, if you want to correct me on LinkedIn, this is my LinkedIn profile. I can share with you. And I want to also thank you to Dipayan, who was very helpful to me to make it happen and was very agile. We had a lot of back and forth, but he was very, very positive. So thank you, Dipayan, if you can hear me. Objectives for today's session. We'll learn what Agile is all about and emotional intelligence. We'll understand about Agile principles. We'll understand about emotional intelligence skills. We'd like all of you to understand how you can apply those skills in your day-to-day life and work when you start doing your work in the professional career. And why it is important, as I told in the beginning, that one needs to be emotionally intelligent and be agile to be successful. Okay, so let's start with what and why agile. So who can tell me what's agile? What's agile?
It is something
Anyone?
to shift. Yes, sir. I am saying it is something to shift to different things with easiness.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. So agile is, first of all, if I go to what agile is, you guys all know, right? Charles Darwin. So what Charles Darwin said once is, it's not the strongest of the species that survive, and not the most intelligent as well, but the ones most responsive to change. And agile is all about responsive to change. As you can see from this picture, agile is all about able to move quickly and easily. And companies has to be agility so they can respond to change faster. Look example of Nokia, BlackBerry, Kodak. Those companies failed to respond to change and didn't survive in this high-tech world. Having started that, so you might have heard of Agile, like some of you might be in computer field and learn Agile, but Agile can be applied anywhere. but earlier it used to be a waterfall. If you have learned about software development life cycle, you might have heard about waterfall, but industry is more moving towards agile, as they found agile to be more effective than waterfall to do all these IT projects. But as I said, agile can be applied to anywhere, any industry, not just IT. But to start with, agile for me is a mindset. It's a mindset. It's a growth mindset where you believe in learning, believe in looking for a change for a better outcome. It's described by 4 values. We'll talk about that in the next slides. 12 principles and many practices. You might have heard of many practices. It could be a daily stand-up. It could be a Scrum framework, a Kanban framework. We'll not go into that. You will learn all these things when you enter your professional world. But here my main idea is to let you guys understand what it is, how you can apply it in your not just professional life, but day-to-day life as well, and what's important for you to be agilist as well as emotionally intelligent to be successful. So agile tells us to move from plan and control to more towards sense and respond. So instead of being reactive, you're responding in a right way. So what is a mindset? So mindset is all in your mind, right? So elements that shape your frame of mind, your beliefs, thoughts, and experiences. So you will see there are lots of people who have either fixed mindset or growth mindset. And what we are saying here is that we all should have a growth mindset. We should not give up on things. We should not feel like, oh, my potential is this only, I can't do that. You can do whatever you want to do if you want to do that. You should look at challenges to grow yourself. You should look at failures to grow yourself. You can learn to do anything you want to. So fixed mindset, oh, I was born like this, I can't do anything. But growth mindset, you can develop and grow. You're all engineers. You can develop new things. You can work on inventions. So you should have a growth mindset. I go to the next slide. Any questions on the agile mindset? All good?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Means
so
if
can answer
anyone,
me?
yes, sir. If any one of the attendees will be having any question, then they will be asking directly.
Sure.
And at last, we have some curated questions also.
Oh, that's good to know. Okay, thank you. That's good to know. Thank you. Okay, so I'll keep moving, but yeah, you can ask in the end and we can keep moving. But I would like to have this session a little interactive. So I feel like you guys are involved and you guys are getting it. So please be a little interactive as well, if you can. Thank you. So what is agile?
Yes.
Thank you. So what's agile? It's a growth mindset. It's a mindset to change things. So basically, when we talk about values and principles, I just want to let you know they all came from Agile Manifesto that was developed by 17 people in 2001, where they thought of finding better ways of doing things, developing things, and helping others to do it. That's the gist behind it. So 4 values of Agile. So the main thing here to understand is that we have all the process and tools like we are talking right now. We need them. So things on the right are still important. But what Agile values are is like we value things on the right, but we still value things on the left little more than on the right. Correct? So there's still value things on the right, but we value things on the left little more than things on the right. The idea is that the interactions, right, as we're talking about, we have a tool, we have processes, Microsoft Teams, the webinars and all, but we still need interactions and individual are important than the process and tools. We still value people, not just the process. Working software over documentation. Documentation is important, it's required, but we like to ensure that the software works. What will I do with documentation if my car or software or device doesn't work? Then third thing is, we are going to a culture of not negotiate contract and trying to win your customers by short selling them or things like that. We want to collaborate with customer. Like contract is required. You have a contract, but don't try to, if there's a change required in the contract, try to see what we can do, what trade-offs we can do, collaborate on that instead of asking them more money all the time. The idea is that collaborate with them, what exactly they want. If they want A earlier, but they now want B, collaborate with them instead of telling them, oh, it will cost you too much of money because we will give you A as well as B. That doesn't make sense. So collaborate with them. And lastly, we all have plans. You guys have plans to graduate from NIT Durgapur. We all have plans. We came to engineering college. We want to get a job and all. But the idea is that we should always respond to change as well. Sometimes things don't work out. You want to work out the way you wanted it. Then should be respond to change. So a plan should be there, must be there. But plan should not be only be detailed out for a short term. And a long term should be a high level plan and should be able to respond to change as required. Let's say you go from Durgapur to Calcutta. You have a plan to take a highway and reach there. But what if there is a big accident there? You will change the plan. You will detour to find a better route to reach faster. That's all about it. Respond to change as things happen. Don't just blindly follow a plan. Too much information in one slide, but it's very important to know that things on the right are also important, but you value things on the left more than right. Now the same way there are 12 Agile principles. So I'll not go one by one on that one because they are just more about software and all. I'll just tell you my 2 principles I like the most. The one I like the most, or maybe 3. The first I like the most is simplicity. Don't try to make things complex if not required. Eliminate waste. Don't work on things that are going to go for a waste. That's a one big one. Second one I like the most is keep improving. And that's what we discussed during our emotional intelligence section as well. To keep improving all the time. That's a life. We all believe in improvement. Keep improving. And last thing is trust and support. Motivate teams. So we have to trust our teams and support them so they can be motivated to do the work. Like your teachers support you and trust you that you get your assignments done and you get it done. So that's a thing. So I'll take a small pause here to see if anyone wants to share what principle here resonated with them. Okay, that's fine. It seems you have a little. I think that's fine. In this big Microsoft Teams, it might be tough to get the interaction. We'll keep moving. But yeah, think of that. Think of a principle that you can resonate most with. Maybe 2 or 3 as well. But it's all about embracing change, bring value faster, keep a constant pace, collaborate. All these things are there. Okay, so as I said, Agile is not just software delivery. As I know there are people here who are also from mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, or different fields here, civil, metallurgical, and things keep increasing. And so that's what I'm trying to talk is that its roots of Agile is not just software development. It came from manufacturing, lean mindset. Toyota lean manufacturing process has influenced a lot of Agile practices in the software industry. And the big ones are that Kaizen, keep improving, as I said earlier, continuous improvement. That's what Toyota does. And that's a Japanese word, Kaizen, that you gradually keep improving small things at a time to make big improvements along the timeline. Go and see, collaboration, work with the users, do a Gamba walk, see how they are doing things and help them out. So that's Gamba walk, go and see. Third thing is built-in quality. Like we all should believe in this thing. Like when you are working on things, you should stop working on the things unless you fix the root cause of the issues. So built-in quality. And this is a big one. We'll talk more about this in emotional intelligence. You should always respect for workers and their creativity. It means you should respect your co-workers, your fellow people, and their creativity. Respect. Respect is a big thing. And lastly, as I talked earlier, we should always eliminate waste. So these are things you should keep in mind when you are going to your professional life, like what I can do to keep improving, how can I improve the process, bring efficiencies, what I can do to eliminate waste, if the quality issues, what I can do to build in quality, and definitely most important, always respect everyone in the company, and that should be a motto for sure. Respect is a big thing. All right, so basic ways of working in Agile. I just want to tell you guys know that you can apply it right away if you want to. I can show you my screen where I keep eye of what I'm going to do, in progress, done. That's visualized. So you can start Agile any place you want to do, even your assignments and all, or your whatever you want are working on, like what's in progress, what I have to do in the list of priority, and what's been done. And like, do not put too many things in progress at a time, because then you will be spending time context switching. To try to limit work in progress. And I keep telling everyone, stop starting, start finishing. Don't start too many things at a time. Try to finish them as well. And the managed flow, that's a big one. You have to ensure that your flow is smooth. There are no bottlenecks in the flow. And the other thing is like always have, whenever work is a team, right, in the project or wherever, always have what I call working agreements with the team and all. So you know how to react if there's an issue. You know how to resolve the conflict among team members. You have a self-organized team who can decide what to work. People have their areas covered, things like that. So you know the timing of your meetings, how you will, the timelines. So all these things can be part of your working agreements. And as we talk about, it's important to get customer feedback. Like, for example, if you look at the vacuum, right, Roomba, which is automatic vacuum, or maybe cell phone, Apple or Samsung, they keep looking at improvements based on what customer telling them to have in their cell phones. And lastly, we said that keep improving, continuous improvement. So in here, you can work as a team, improve as a team, improve individually as well. That's all about basic ways of working Agile. So we talk about being Agile. It's a mindset, growth mindset, values, principles. We also talk about working ways of working of Agile, which is more like this, how you can make working Agile. But you need to have both, doing Agile, how to work in Agile, and being Agile, having the mindset to be successful. So let's think of both the ways. But the starting point, as you are not in the industry and all, I'll say look at these ways, like how I can be Agile, not just in the professional world, but in my day-to-day life as well. Now I'll go to agility. So the main thing here is that you can see it's a house of lean. That's a different framework. But the idea is that for anything to be successful, leadership has to be good, great. And all of you will go and become leaders down the line. And as you become leaders, I will go next to emotionally intelligent, that you need to be emotionally intelligent to provide that leadership. And what's our goal is? The goal is to deliver the value faster, that delight your customers, and that also in a shortest lead time and with a built-in quality. So if you look at that, the big pillar here is respect for people and culture. So we'll talk about it a lot, and that's a big thing right now. We are now in a scenario, in a culture where we are more knowledge workers, and where people want to be respected, otherwise we will lose them. The other one is flow. You want to ensure that you have built-in quality and your flow is easy, like you are able to flow with no bottlenecks. Innovation, for sure. We want to ensure that we are always working new things, like Amazon. They came with Alexa. No one knew it will be a big hit. They come with so many different products along with their cloud. It's amazing. And then keep improving all the time, because if you don't improve, then you might end up in that loop of the companies who were so great but didn't survive. Like I gave example of Nokia, BlackBerry, or Kodak. So you have to keep improving. You have to see where the market is. You always should have that sense of danger. If I don't improve, if I don't look at what the things are, I might not be there in the market. And that's why you have to be agility to ensure that you stay in the business. I'll take a pause here. It's a big flow of house of lean, and so you can absorb it before you go to emotional intelligence. So now we covered the first part of the presentation, which is why you have to be agile. So any questions you have on that, you can document them down. We definitely will answer them in the end. But if you want to ask anything right now, feel free to do that. But now we'll go to the next topic, which is emotional intelligent. So one can be agile. I can say I'm agile. I love that. But we also have to see like you can't be totally agile unless you're emotional intelligent. And that's what I'll try to explain you right now, what emotional intelligence really means and how you can look at yourself and see how you can improve yourself to be more emotional intelligence. So this presentation on emotional intelligence is based on the book by Travis Bradbury and John Greaves. And so that's all covered over there in that book. So if you want, you can read that book. It's a very easy read. And you can see what I'm talking about here is more a reference based on that book. So what's emotional intelligence? It is the ability to understand, use, and manage your own emotions in positive ways. If you become emotionally intelligent person, honestly, you will have no stress in your life. You will overcome any challenges, will diffuse any conflict, and you will communicate in a very great way, and you will empathize with other people as well. So as we go down there, try to take some notes, try to get some tips that you can apply to become more emotionally intelligent. Why emotional intelligence? The idea is that, like, as I said, a little effort on increasing your EQ, you can have a great impact on your life and your relationships. All these things we're talking about, presentation skills, social skills, assertiveness, empathy, decision making, time management, all things will grow a lot if you grow your EQ. What's important? As I said, it is very important. Sometimes IQ is a threshold competence. You guys have great IQ, all of you. That's why you're in engineering. You're doing engineering because you have a great IQ. But add EQ on top of that, you'll be great. You'll be a successful person. You'll increase your performance at school or work. You'll increase your physical health, mental health, your relationship, everything. So what is emotional intelligence skills are? The top two skills, which is self-awareness and self-management, are your personal competence. Like how you come across personally, what you can do personally yourself. And bottom two, social awareness and relationship management, are more your social competence. We are in the world of today where you will work as teams a lot and you will be asked, are you a team player or not? And all of us will say, yeah, I'm a great team player. And the great team player means to have a social competence. And definitely to become a great team player, you have to have a personal competence first so you can work on social competence. So it has to go in that order. You can't be relationships if you don't aware of what your shortcomings are. So all these four things are important, but the idea is that you have to work in the order to see you have at least some basic self-awareness, some basic self-management, and social awareness before you can build a relationship. So it goes in that order. What is self-awareness? So there's a quote from Lawrence Possidy. You can learn from mistakes as well as successes. And also, you might have heard from Socrates, right? Know thyself, which is all about knowing yourself. So idea of self-awareness is that you can accurately perceive your own emotions. How many times we get mad, angry, and all because we can't control our emotions with situation. It's not, I'm not saying you should not get your emotions out, you should, but you have to see how to perceive them and respond in a way that they become effective. You should know what emotions I want at what time from that perspective. So you can understand situation better. This is a foundational skill, as I said, to make other skills easier to use. So for self-awareness strategies, there are many strategies. They are like, I will give you a minute to read through them. There are a lot of them strategies that you can apply and learn from there. But I'll spend time on 3 of them. But I'll take a pause here so you can read all of them as you go to the next slide. And also see when you're reading through them, what resonates with you, what you want to work on. So when I put these 3 in the highlight, there are things I'll talk about. These are things I felt like I have to work on. You can observe the ripple effect, like how the small ripple earlier and not become bigger and bigger. So the thing is, small things sometimes adds up. They can become bigger. They can have bigger influence. And your emotions affect other people as well. I'm agile coach, right? I work with teams. I coach teams, and I have to ensure that my emotions doesn't affect them in a bad way, but in a positive way. And that's why I want to work on this to ensure that I don't make them feel, I don't make a fear in them. I want them to have no fear, psychological safe, fail fast environment. So because the way I will drive the behavior is important to me. I want to ensure that team feels comfortable with me. They can discuss anything with me so they can be successful. So as a manager, if you grow up, you have to ensure that you should not scare people in front of other people so they feel like berated or not. You have to ensure that if you have to have some tough conversations, have them one-to-one. And if there's something for the entire team, have in such a way it has positive impact, and don't make it such a way that you are trying to make them berate them or not respecting them. Because your emotions affect other people. So if you have a bad day, bad mood, you have to see how you want to work on them before you come to a meeting or to a team setting. As I said, observe the ripple effect. You have to spend time on them and collect feedback. You can ask your employees. I normally do that. I ask my peers and my team members, please give me any feedback I have to work on. Anything I have to work on. And they say, yeah, sometimes, not sometimes, but one off we have seen you got frustrated with the process is not being followed and things like that. Yeah, that's true. I'm getting frustrated. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I have to do better, maybe not to show that frustration for team setting. I have to show that frustration more like in one-to-one and let people know what is there. So to be more assertive, but don't let people feel like I'm frustrated. So I have to change that setting. So yeah, one of that happens. That's okay. It's fine, but but I realize that I can work on that as well. Why to make it even one off? So you should know what pushes your buttons, like what makes you feel anger, sad, things like that. So once you know them, then you can react calmly while maintaining your poise. So you will become more self-aware. Like some people get really annoyed by the sounds. Some people get really annoyed by some people bothering them. So things like that. So you have to know what pushes your buttons so you can react calmly while maintaining your poise. Definitely, as I said, I keep asking feedback. This is the only way to know that how are you doing. Because your feedback is always tainted. You always feel good about you, which is fine. Sometimes some people don't feel good about them. They self-sabotage them, which is also not good. So, but then getting feedback for other people is an eye-opener for you. How they feel about you, what they feel you can improve upon. So that will make you better self-aware. And again, feedback I say is that it's up to you. If you feel there's a pattern of something from 5 people, then definitely work on it. If it's a one-off, you feel no, that feedback doesn't make sense. Maybe it's a one-off. That person has got me something wrong. That's fine. You have to work on that. But feedback is again up to you what you can work on. If you can't work on, you can't work on. You might have noticed I speak fast, and I might be speaking fast right now that some of them might be finding tough to understand me. But I have that feedback in mind, and I'm working on that to ensure that I control my pace and don't speak fast. I'm working on it. But if so, no one will tell me that I have to work on the pace of my speech. How will I know that? All good? It's all making sense to you guys, what I'm talking about? Being self-aware?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Exactly. Means these things matters a lot.
Thank you. Thank you for the response. I appreciate that. So there are different strategies. You can pick your own strategy. But let's go to the next section, which is self-management. So, as Plato said, the first and best victory is to conquer self. If you can self-manage, you will be in heaven, honestly. The relationship will grow like anything. You will have no problems with your kids. I have kids, you don't have kids right now, but you will have no problem with your spouses. It will be great. Self-management. So what is self-management? That's what I'm talking about. Use awareness of emotions to choose what to say and do. This is important. So when and what to say, when to do. So don't get emotional hijacking, because that will come in your own way of success. That's a big thing here. So what strategies you can use to self-manage? I did that. So there are a lot of things you can see. Again, strategies are there. So I'll give you a minute to read through them, but highlight the ones in the bold that I'll talk about, and that's the one I am going to work on, or I'm working on right now, so you guys are aware of it. I hope you all read it now. And the one thing which, even though I've not talked about it, I want to highlight it here, is that clean up your sleep hygiene. I'll tell you, if you sleep proper, you will be able to self-manage yourself better. Sleep is very important. You don't understand that, but your emotions and your outbursts or your other things that happen, that do happen because you are not well rested. So sleep is really important. So having said that, let's talk about breathe right. So all of you, please do it with me. Breathe in, ensure your belly comes out. Breathe out, ensure belly goes in. And whenever you're going for a big meeting or big presentation, do that few times. It will calm you down. Breathe in, breathe out. So breathe in, belly out, breathe out, belly in, and chest out. And then again, we all have our moments, right? And there's sometimes some people really touch your push buttons a lot, like push your buttons a lot. And then the volcano was building, right? It just keeps building, and in the end, it just come out because you just can't control anymore. Like the kids, right? Sometimes they try to touch your buttons to a level where you feel like, oh no, I really have to get married my kid now. So in that sense, what you can do, and these strategies are not like new strategies. Even my daughter, who's in second grade, is being learned about that. So if you are frustrated, if you're not liking something, or if you're not in a good mood, what you can do it to calm you down is count to 10. 1. See how emotion changing from a lot of anger to less anger. 2. A little bit less anger more. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See how the entire red anger is gone by 7, 8, 9, 10, and you're back to normal. Try it out. Whenever you're feeling angry, just control yourself and just count to 10, and you will not be feeling angry anymore. And these techniques are taught in elementary school, basically. Okay. The third strategy of self-management is always see yourself succeeding. Visualize that. So if you think the situations happens, I don't know what I should do and all, just visualize them. So if you visualize them, it will really happen. So you might have read, a lot of you people might be reading Richard Bach. I remember in my days of 98 graduation year, we had Richard Bach novels, people used to read that. So yeah, to bring anything to life, imagine that's already there. And if you really want to get something done, and that's what I like this, and I would like you to, all of you to do that right now, close your eyes and create the most detailed, clear, and vivid picture that really you want to succeed on. Let's say you want to work in Amazon, whatever. You want to get want to be a CEO of Tata. I'm just giving examples. So close your eyes. I'll give you 1 minute and create a detailed, clear, and vivid, colorful picture that you would like to be as you grow in life. So I'm also closing my eyes, and I'll give you 1 minute. Go ahead with the exercise of close your eyes and get that picture in your mind. I hope you get some good pictures in your mind that you want to become. Thank you for doing it with me. Okay, so now the next thing is, now you know you are self-aware, you know how to self-manage yourself. Now come the social skills, where you have to work with the teams and people in today's world. We can't be individual. We have to work with people all the time. Even doing some contract work at home, you need people to come and do the work for you. So then the must thing is that it's our own Mahatma Gandhi. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. So social awareness, what it's all about. It's a social competency, as we talked about. It's ability to understand emotions in other people. So you understand emotions in you as part of your self-awareness. And here you're trying to identify and understand emotions in other people. So that's what the skill is all about. Like what other people emotions are and how to be empathized toward their emotions. Perceive what they are thinking and feeling and not getting caught up in your own emotions. And how will you do that? The big things is listening and observing. So I know a lot of times now in the virtual world, we can't observe people because of the fact that sometimes videos are off, some technology constraints, capacity bandwidth constraints, things like that. But still, you can listen to them. See in their tone of voice, how they're telling things and all, so you can work towards that. So listening and observing, that's a big element. So again, there are a lot of techniques here that you can think of. Like I feel like the big ones, I say greet people by name. And that's why I asked Nasir to give his name. I want to ensure that I know his name and greet him that name. The pine I'm working with. So it's a small thing, but it'll help you. Remember people's name. If you ask people their name, then focus on it and remember it. People like to be called by their name. And the other things like that. So go through that. We'll not spend time on every one of them, but I wanted you to look into this, all of these things you can do to become more social aware. Yeah, plan ahead of social gatherings. Like this is a social gathering for me right now, presenting in front of all of you. And I have to plan ahead. Like I have to know my presentation looks good. I don't make a fool of myself. I have to ensure my pace is okay. I have to ensure that people understand me and they get something out of it.
Excuse me, sir. I have one doubt. Means you have written don't take notes at meeting. How is that? Means everywhere I heard that means we should have notes.
This is a very good question someone asked, and I'm so glad about that. The idea is that what they're saying is don't take notes at meetings. If you take notes at meetings, you'll feel the context what person is talking about. So maybe have someone to take notes at meetings as a meeting taker notes, but other person more like focus on what they're talking about, observe their body language, observe their feelings and all. So that's the idea is that like don't take notes at meetings, is not like try to write everything down. Maybe take notes, but take only the critical bullet points, but more focus on listening. If you listen carefully, you will have those notes in your mind.
Yes, sir. Exactly. Means this is somewhat confusing also. Means yeah. Means what you have said is exactly means correct, but it seems confusing. Means at the first.
No, it is. I take a lot of notes and meetings. For me, it's writing remembers me. And again, as I said, these strategies are there to look at but doesn't mean each strategy applied to you. To look at what strategy you really need to work on to make it happen. You can't work on all these 20 things written over there. But see, what you think is good one. Like art of listening is a big one. We'll talk about that for sure. Greet people by name is a good one. You should always greet people by name. You can easily do those things. If you don't know how to start a conversation, have a back pocket question all the time. Like, how's the weather today? What's the spring break plan? What's the plan for summer break? Things like that to start the conversation going. And get your mind clear of the clutter. The more you're cluttering your mind, the more you are thinking of other things, then focus on the social gathering. How many times we have seen that we are in the social gathering and we are thinking about our exams or something like that. So you have to clear the clutter. So overall, be in the moment, basically. Live in the moment. Be there. Be present.
Yes, sir. This is the moral. Be in the moment.
Be in the moment. Live in the moment. And honestly, I know we call sir, and I also learned that as part of my learning in Durgapur, sir, and things. But honestly, just call me Sumit. I'm perfectly fine, because that's the thing. Like in the new environment, if you come here, definitely work in US, no one calls anyone sir and ma'am. I think that's changing in India as well. You just call by names, or you can just call Mr. Sumit if you want to something like that. But normally in the professional world, it's all names. Just call by names. Doesn't matter the designation. Doesn't matter which level you are. It's all by names. Yeah. So I think the main thing of this social awareness is deep and active listening. Keep your listening ears on. Doesn't mean you're. So there are 3 levels of listening. One level is you're hearing them out what they're talking about. Second is you're focused completely. You're trying to understand their body language and all. Third is you're also understanding the environment around surroundings as well. They're deep and active listening. So avoid distractions, observe completely, and things like that. So it's very important to have that listening skills. We all talk about communication. In communication, we all talk about speaking skills, and how you can influence and all. But we don't tend to talk about it's very important in the communication to have that deep and active listening skills. Don't wait. Don't try to make in your mind, oh, I will answer this by this question, or I'll question that thing. Try to be focused on that complete listening and then respond accordingly. We all have a tendency to cut people off, ask questions in between, and that's how it's about. Try to be a great listener where you have a patience, listen to the other person out completely without cutting them off, without coming with counter questions. Making sense, guys? Do you guys do that? How many of you do cut people off when they're talking? I mean, not to answer that, but I think that
most of the time we try to be normal, but sometimes it is required to cut people off.
Yeah, one of is okay, exception always there, but sometimes you feel like how we can be such a way, like how we can be patient enough to listen to the other person out completely. But yeah, you're right. Sometimes you have to. You don't have the entire all time in the world, but that's what I'm saying. Observe where you really have to. Is it something you really have to or not have to? Take it from there. Last but not the least, it's all about building relationship with your family, with your spouse, with your kids, and in the professional world, with your team members, with your managers, with your supervisors, whoever you call it, and when you grow up, if you have people reporting to you, with your subordinates as well. So what for relationship, the big thing is that make sure you're understood. You have to make yourself understood. You can't blame the other person. Oh, that person has a low IQ or something, to not understanding. You have to find ways out what you can do, different tools or techniques to make people understand you. So that's a quote from Joel Garfinkel. Okay, so next one. So what is relationship management? Relationship management is all about using your awareness of your own emotions, and we learn about other people's emotions to manage your interactions successfully. So you should know not just your emotions, but other people's, and then you manage your emotions, interactions successfully. That's all about relationship management. You work well with others and you build strong connections to get your points across easily. How many times it's easy to explain something to people who understands you, who are a good friend of you, than people who don't understand you, who always wants to put you down. So that's a trick to make it, to build that strong connection with everyone. And don't shy away from conflict. Handle it by having constructive conversations. That's all about relationship management. Okay, so they also have lots and lots of techniques you can do. So I'll give you a minute to go through them, understand them, and then we'll talk about it. But the one that I highlighted is the one that I will talk about here in this class or in this session, because that's the one that I work on and I really feel about those very strong. And I feel like if you have to build trust, you have to do other things anyway, because trust is a big thing in any environment. But please go through them and ask me any questions you might have on this so I can answer that.
Yeah, hello, excuse me, sir. Were you saying something? Actually, I got disconnected due to network. Were you saying something?
I was just saying, if you have any questions on this strategies for relationship management, please feel to ask right now or ask at the end of the session, because I will only cover the ones which I bolded. That's the one I work on, and I personally feel building trust requires all of them anyway. Because the big thing in any environment you have to do is build trust.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. As I said, you can call me Sumit. No, sir, if you have to. But again, it's your take. Okay, so
yeah, definitely, Mr. Sumit.
just Sumit is fine. Okay, let's go to the next slide then. Be open and curious.
We have one question from Ravin Mandal Bhaiya.
Sure.
Yeah, Ravin Mandal Bhaiya, please feel free. You can unmute and ask your question.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, audible.
Hello, Mr. Sumit. I'm from Final Year Metallurgy. I want to ask you some question about relationship management. As you know that we are going to enter into the professional life. So we will have to meet many kinds of people during like our professional discussions or meeting kind of things. But as some people they used to be very arrogant or like strict to their own decisions. Like they don't want any kind of change. So during conversation with that kind of people, how to make the conversation fruitful and keep my point of view in front of them so that they can we can mutually end up with a good result or good decision.
So you tell me what you would have done differently, what you have tried out and that didn't work for you.
Yes, sir. Actually.
So did you try anything, or do you have a live example? So if you have some example or some strategies, share that you tried out that didn't work. If not, I'll give you my thoughts as well.
Yes, sir. In our interview, job interviews, many times we have a kind of debate kind of thing, or a discussion between. There was a topic regarding that should the middle class families of India have to pay more tax, or it has to be deducted, or is there any kind of burden due to the increase of tax in the society of India? My point of view was to that many small scale business, they used to skip the tax portion. They are not registered in the SEBI portal or anything, so they don't pay the tax, and the overall load of tax increased on the job people who do job in middle class families. So my point was that and I suggested them that we should increase the tax on the like luxury items, like more than, if you have more than 2 bungalows, then there should be extra tax. If you are like transferring your property and wealth to your son without like any kind of like judgment or anything, then you have to pay a little bit tax to the society, so that it can be like distributed properly in between all the like classes. But they like stood up with their point that it's their choice, they make their own wealth, and it's their choice that whomever they can deliver it, like, so they are not trying to understand the problem of the whole country. They are like, it's mine, and like I can do anything whatever I want to do. So how to deal with that kind of people in a conversation, like, so that after a group discussion you have to came up with a like prospective result to show the like panel members. So how can you deal with that kind of people? Can you suggest something?
Yeah, I think, see, the main thing of any relationship is building trust, right? And now in this small 1 hour setting, when you have not known people, it's a tough scenario. I totally agree. So only thing I can say is that in that case, listen to them clearly, show them you're listening to their thoughts completely, and then give your viewpoint. And again, in these situations, right, even if viewpoint is not taken, right, what's the harm is happening, right? It's a debate. As long as you have shown your points with conviction, with the research data and all, that's fine. If other people are not taking your concept, that's okay. They don't want to, they don't want to. You don't have to worry about, I have to build a relationship with everyone. There will be people you can't build a relationship, that's okay. As long as you can ensure that it's not affecting your work. It's affecting your work, then you have to come with a strategy of where I can go and bounce my ideas with to confirm whether my thinking is good or not and how to react to that, and then take it back to those people. So in this situation, you will find arrogant people. You'll find people who are not listening to you. Now then, in one case could be, if it's not impacting you, just ignore it, avoid it. Again, I keep telling my daughter, if your elder brother is bothering you so much, learn to ignore. That's a good skill set. Have short maybe learn to ignore. Don't make it personal and let it go. It's not impacting you. But it's impacting you, then definitely do your research, get some data, and take it back to them in a form. If they don't listen to you, then yeah, then go to your other trusted partners, work with them, and take some guidance on what I can do to get it done, because this is impacting me. Then you should have that part to go with. So as I said, so it's not easy. Some people will be like that, but then you have to find the right paths to go through to deter that people. So your plan was to work with them. It's not working. What I can deter to make it happen? Whom I can trust? Whom I can work with to get my point across?
Yeah.
So debate setting is very tough. It's a 1 hour and all. But yeah, in the work environment, it's not like that, right? You will have time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but sometimes if it's not impacting you, even though you know you are right, ignorance is also good. Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss.
Yes.
Yeah, so only on one sense I'll say is that always fight the battles that you want to fight with. If you fight all the battles, there's no harm, you will just hurt yourself. So try to fight the battles that are worth fighting on.
Yes, like avoiding irrelevant debates or anything.
Yeah.
Focus on the right one. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're a good point, do take your point with conviction. It's up to them to take it or not take it. That's fine. You get your point across. That's it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. It's good to make it interactive.
Welcome.
Thank you. What's your name again?
My name is Robin Mondal. I'm from final year BTech.
Yeah. Thank you, Robin.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So be open and curious. We all say, "Oh, I'm an open book. You can read me." So yeah. So if you're really open, your life will be easier, as Buddha said. You all know Gautam Buddha. So yeah. So be open, and your life will be easier. And always, that's a very big thing. Be curious, not judgmental. In that case, Robin, look at this way. Were you curious to know why they're not doing it, or were you judgmental on their thinking? Again, I'm not pointing you, or you did a great job and all. Thank you, thank you. I'm just saying always have that mindset as well. Be curious and not judgmental on people. Like what makes them do that way? That's a good quote from Walt Whitman. So always try to give other people benefit of doubt and curious and not judgmental about people and all. Just a thought, if you can do that. And second thing is, this is a big one. As I said, as part of your self-awareness, you should seek feedback. But again, you should seek feedback of people who know how to give feedback, who will motivate you and not demotivate you. So the idea is that giving feedback is a relationship building event that requires all 4 skills to be effective. It's not easy to give feedback. And that's why I salute those people who are people manager, who have to give feedback to people who are not performing and all. It's not easy. And similarly, receiving feedback is also very hardest part of the process. Because you are getting feedback, some of them might not be good. Something you have to work on. Like me speaking slowly, I have to work on. Like me looking at things like in a way that you might say, oh no, I have to work on this because no one wants more work. But the idea is that there's a technique here how to give and receive feedback. So when you're giving feedback, always start with positives, strength. So let's say even if you tell something to your friend as a feedback or something you want him to work on, her to work on, always start with strengths and don't give too much feedback because too much is also not good. Too much information is also not good. Try to give specific feedback that really want them to work on. Let's say there are 10 things bothering you, but 8 you can ignore or 2 you can't ignore. So give them feedback only on those 2 things. And be specific, as we said. Again, use a sandwich approach, which means you praised, you give little feedback, what they have to work on, then you again praise them again on what they are doing and things like that. And be prompt, like give feedback as it happens, right? If you tell me, Sumit, you did this 3 months back, it was really bad. I can't even remember what happened, what was the situation, what scenario. So make it be prompt so people can react to it, not react, relate to it immediately. Like what you're talking about, yeah, that makes sense. And always make it an ongoing exercise. So you're working with your team members and all, if you're giving feedback, make it ongoing, like every periodic basis, so that it doesn't become like a thing to do just when you really have bad times. So again, as I said, receiving feedback is also very, very tough. So, but you should appreciate the feedback received. And don't throw it back by making excuses. We all have a habit of making excuses. If I sell something, you didn't do this work, you're supposed to finish by tomorrow or like by yesterday, and you didn't do it. They will have all the excuses, which is fine. But take your feedback seriously because you know what they're asking. They notice something because your perceivedness is tainted. But other people have seen something, their perception. So take it seriously. But as I said, definitely do a self-evaluation. Sometimes people say things, they might be in their mind, but 10 people, other people might not feel like that. So don't get worried by all the feedback and all. Do a self-evaluation, what really you have to work on, and then take it as an opportunity to learn. So don't work on all the feedback. Look at the patterns of feedback and work on only those feedback that you really want to grow with, that will help you to grow. And then definitely follow up with them. Like you gave me this feedback, I worked on it. Do you think I did good or not? Have the follow up. Otherwise, you will never know you worked on the feedback or not. Follow up is very important to confirm that the feedback you received and the work you did had produced results or not. Okay, last thing, and this is our last section, build trust. Then we are done. We'll give some time for Q&A. Building trust is very important, guys. It's in any industry, any job you go, this is a critical thing, building trust. And the only thing is that I will tell you, you build more trust by using it more. So all resources gets depleted by use, but trust gets up more. And we all can definitely work on this trust. All of us should be build a practical trust for sure. In a corporate world, in a professional world, in a personal work as well, right? With your family and all, you have to ensure you are getting these things done, showing up on time, getting work done, meeting deadlines, being reliable. We all want people who can trust on these things, but there's practical trust that must be there. But what we're talking about is that what we lack sometimes is, as a people, is emotional trust, which is feeling respected. Again, learn listening, active listening, generous listening, keep listening, networking to network with people and build a bond. Some people are introverts. They say, oh no, I want to network. I want to build a bond. That's okay. As long as you have enough awareness and enough things to do, ensure that they can trust you, they have a bond at a work level, that's fine as well. And as long as respecting people, that's good. Even if introvert, you don't want to network, that's okay. But ensure that you respect people and you feel respected as well. That's the main thing. How you can build trust? It takes time to build, can be lost in seconds, and it can be our most important difficult objective in relationships, honestly. So building trust, there are a lot of things I said. I'll say always value long-term relationships. Then you will build trust, like with the spouse, with the kids. Be honest. Honesty is the best thing. As I said, practical trust, honor your commitments. So if I told you I'll be presenting today and I don't show up, will you trust me again? No. So honor your commitments, or at least let people know why you can't do it, so that way they are well prepared for that. Admit when you're wrong. It's the toughest thing to do, guys. I can tell you, to admit when you're wrong, but that's how you build trust. Communication, all about communication, and communication. When I said communication is two ways, not just speaking, but listening. Be transparent, like just be honest, be transparent of what you're doing and things, like what's going on. Don't try to do things outside that you don't want them to be aware of, like just be honest. Stand up for what's right. That's a big thing. You build trust by stand up for what's right. Show people that you care. You always show people you care, respect them. Be helpful. That builds trust. And be vulnerable. That's a big one. Be vulnerable. And what it means is, like, you can share when you're wrong. You can share your weaknesses. We all want to hide them, but you can share them and tell them, I have this weakness of speaking fast. So I know that I'm working on that, and I should have done it in the beginning. I'm doing it now. But in the presentation, Nasir or Robin, if you ever feel I'm speaking fast, please slow me down. Please tell me, so that I can ensure that I have in my subconscious mind, I'm not speaking that fast. Be vulnerable. That's how we build trust. So what's next? We'll go next. Are we good? So we are done with our presentation. Now we do the next steps. So what's next? Action plan. So first thing I'll say, have a growth.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I was saying this execution is that is the thing after understanding things.
Yeah, execution is the key. You're right. Execution is the key. So what's next? First, have a growth and learning mindset. So Agile is all about growth and learning mindset. Have that mindset. Have your things transparent to you. What will it work on? Sometimes when you have all these thoughts in your mind, so many things flood in your mind, it's better to put them on a piece of paper. What you have to work on, so you can have better idea what to prioritize when. Like I show you my board, action board. These are all the things that I have to work on at home. So now I know what I have to prioritize, and I can move priorities based on deadlines and things like that. And also stop, starting, start, finishing. Like your in progress column should be as small as possible. Have we talked about self-reflect, improve continuously? It's the EQ skill as well, to self-reflect on yourself to keep improving. Now you can pick an EQ skill to work on, to be agile, to be to be whatever you want to pick up. Pick skills that you want to work on, that you think you have to work on. Then when you pick up a skill, then pick 3 strategies. As I showed you 3 strategies in my presentation for each of this skill, you can pick your own 3. I picked my 3. I'm presenting them to you. You can pick your own 3 and you can present to your friend or whoever that this is working on. Tell me how I'm doing or not doing. And then always expect success, not perfection. You guys might have heard of perfection is the enemy of success, not success or progress. Sorry, perfection is the enemy of progress. See, I am not a perfect speaker. I am not a perfect communicator. but I'm still doing this because I want to learn and keep presenting. So maybe by practice, I might become a good speaker in the public audience. And be patient. Results will not come overnight. Me practicing hard to speak slowly. I have a mentor. I practice with that person. I tell my wife all these things. You have to be patient to get the results. And then, but do measure performance. Ask people how they do, what I can do more, things like that. And lastly, a note here: you can't work on your relationship management skills if you feel you have to work on self-awareness or self-management or social awareness. You have to improve them first. Unless you make those three skills of yours great, you can't make your relationship great. Again, when I say great, doesn't mean like you have to be perfect, just to a level where you feel, yeah, it's good enough. Like you feel like, yeah, I have a good idea and I can control my emotions. I know how to handle things. I know what my weaknesses are, things like that. That's your action plan. So what's the key takeaways? Anyone wants to speak key takeaways that they got from this session? I just put those things that we talked about, improvement EI, the quotes I put there. And again, for self-awareness, I also say Socrates quote, know yourself, know thyself, from Socrates. Yeah, I think we can end here with this. Like, emotional intelligence is not opposite of intelligence. You need both intelligence and this. Oh, it's together to get to this. But again, I feel if you're emotional intelligence and not IQ intelligence, still you can do wonders. Okay, people will love you, will like to work with you. Okay, thank you guys. I really appreciate this opportunity. Again, thank you people who spoke up. Thank you very much for this session. I think and we can open to Q&A now, right, Nasir?
Yes, sir. Anyone in the attendee can ask their questions, or we'll be asking our curated questions also. So it is open for all the attendees in the meeting. You can ask your question by directly unmuting your mic.
So I know I can't see the things and all, but I just want to understand from the audience to give a yes or no, and no is also a good answer. Did you get something from this session?
Yes, sir. Means we all have got many things from this, and those things actually are minute, but matters a lot in developing overall what we are, and what people will think of us, and what we will be finally giving back to our this planet and our surroundings.
Thank you.
Again, we have Rabin Mandal Bhaiya. He wanted to ask something. Yeah, Bhaiya, please feel free. You can ask.
Hello, sir. I want to ask something about self-management, which is based on the, I think, emotional intelligence also. Like if someone has a very kind of diverse mindset on the purpose of life. Suppose like if I'm a person, I want to be a scientist as well as a technical entrepreneur, and then I want to take part on making the educational policy or the research policy of India in such a way that the next generation get so much advantage of that and our country emerges with like scientific and technological development. But sometimes like these three things are not like aligned in the same path. Like they are the scientist, being a scientist and technical entrepreneur is kind of a similar thing. You can jump from one field to another field, but to decide or to like contribute to make a policy on education and research, it's some kind of a political like. So like how can someone deal with such kind of thing if you have a kind of purpose, like not a single kind of purpose, like it's like a very like different from one another, like you have a limited time before death. So you have to arrange the things in such a way so that you can like do complete it step by step so that everything got fulfilled. So like sometimes it comes to a kind of emotional dilemma to decide that what thing to do first and how to jump from one thing to another, like without getting any kind of like emotional imbalance. Can you clear this? Like
a great question. And your name is Ravi or Robin? Ravi.
my Robin Mandal.
Robin. Okay, Robin. Yeah. So Robin. Yeah, I think a great question. And again, I am not an expert in this field, Robin, but I'll do my best. I love this topic because being a agile coach, I feel we all should be emotionally intelligent. You also will feel to respect our team members and work as a team setting. And I want to share with all of you because I felt like we engineers sometimes tend to be great in IQ, but sometimes miss the EQ. Again, nothing against individual, but more as a overall I felt about myself as well. Like I'm so smart and all, who cares kind of thing, right? But yeah, I'm not so smart anyway. But yeah, coming to your answer, right? If you look at, I'll give an example of Mr. Manmohan Singh, right? Who was our prime minister. He was a great economist. Before that, he went to school of economics as well, right? So if you look at that way, right? So it's up to your priorities and your preference, right? You can make your own journey. That's I always tell people they have a short-term goals and long-term goals, right? What I want to do. My journey could be, in your case, I was thinking is like, okay, I want to become a scientist, technical entrepreneur. What I do to make that happen? What things need to happen to make it happen? And I do offer one-to-one coaching to people. If anyone interested, I can do it more like what do we call it's more pro bono for now. So if you are interested, anyone can send me a message. You can ask Dipan my details, and I can create that one-to-one coaching where I'll help you finding your own answers. It's all about finding your own answers. There's no silver bullet that fits everywhere, right? You have to find your own answers. Yes. But just to come to this topic, what I'll say is that for me, it will be creating my own journey and say, okay, my journey is this, and at the end, I want to do this policy decision. So even if I'm going with technical entrepreneur or this scientist, where I have to take a pause or pivot to make other things happen. Okay, maybe at this point, I have to pivot and see what I have to do to get involved in education policies. Maybe what boards I have to be part of, what societies I can be part of to make it happen. And then go there and see what paths look like there, what they look for, and go from there. Did you get it? So I'm not trying to say, but yeah, you make your own journey and say what point you will pivot that. And then again, as I said, about agile, right? You should always have plans, but then respond to change. Things can happen. You thought you will do your company technical entrepreneurship in 3 years, like 5 years. That's okay. Then replan and see how it looks like that.
Yes, like in reality, they like a lot of times they change actually according to the situations, like external factors also.
So definitely have a plan, make a journey, but then keep pivoting that journey based on how situation happen. Respond, don't react. Respond accordingly.
Okay. Like, is it like worthy enough, like to divide the whole journey in such a small chunks so that I can focus on one thing and then get a way out through, like from that thing to move forward to another position or work? I think otherwise, like the whole thing is such a big, like in my mind that it like emotionally disturbs me all the time, like and takes away my peace of mind. Like you can say about it.
You answer your own question, right? If it's impacting emotionally, why will you want to do all things in one go? You declutter it and see, make a journey to focus on one thing, get it done another thing. Like we said, right? I said in the action plan, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
In the action plan, right? Stop, still start finishing. Finish one part of it and then, because there's a cost of context switching. There are too many things in your mind, you context switch from one to other. You will have a context switching cost and you have a knowledge cost. To remember everything what you talked about, and then quality cost. You might not be able to give your entire passion and quality to one piece of the other. But again, people do multitask. I'm not denying that. It's up to you. That's how you have to carve your journey out where you can. And then one word I always use is capacity allocation. Like what capacity of you want to give to this or that? Will this be enough or not? If you say, yeah, it's enough, then do both the parts. If it's not enough, then say, okay, I will put this 80%, this 20%. In the 20%, I will do this to the bare minimum for these things. And then my main focus will be 80% of those things. So we all are engineers here. and all. We do all give 10 exams, 12 exams at a time, so many viva and all. We are multitaskers. We do that, but again, we also prioritize based on deadlines and things, so you can focus on one thing and get it done. That's the idea. So that's why the exams are not on the same day, right? We have exams on different days, so you can finish one exam, then the other exam kind of thing. So it's up to you how you want to divide your work day and then take it from there.
Yes, sir. I think that will help me a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir. We have one question from one of our attendees. He's asking, what is the best option to master topic, a book or a video lecture, and why?
Okay. I'll tell you again, that's the beauty of people, right? We are all different. All are different people in this world and different techniques over different people. For me, video works better. I'm not a good book reader. I find it tough, even though I am getting into the habit of reading books now, because books have more details and all, but still sometimes skip through them and it's tough for me to get the books done. But videos, if there's a good video, the problem with videos is that there's so many videos in the in the YouTube and other LinkedIn courses, you have to figure out what's the best video to go through. So then it becomes like you ask the person who is expert in that topic if they can recommend videos to you. But then finding right books is easy, but finding right videos are tough. So let's say I am reading a book right now, which is Think Again. It's a book by Adam Grant. It's all about rethinking. And now I look at the videos and all, it's fine. But that book is Think Again. I'm looking at that. So I'm finding it tough to finish that book. But I have a book club. So I know with the deadline of book club coming up, I have to finish that book before that. Even if I don't finish, I'll go to the book club and learn something from the other people who read the book. So the best way for book, if you're a good book reader, I'll say book always give you more perception, like more perspective, more ideas. And if you're finding it tough to read the books, become part of book club. But if you don't have time and energy to read through book, then videos will work, but always find the right videos. So there are a lot of videos that all over the place. Some videos might confuse you more than teach you more. Did I answer the question of yours? Whoever was that? What's his name? His or her name?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yeah, actually, I don't have the miss. We have got these questions from our registration form that we circulated. So yeah, miss, I hope miss this means he or she may have got the answer. I have another question from one of our attendee. What was your mindset when you were in your first and second year of college?
I think I'll answer this question if you stop the recording. So anyway, so I think, see, that's the thing, right? Honestly, as I said, your journey keeps changing. You keep pivoting. At first and second year of college, my mindset was all to have fun. I had a lot of fun in college, honestly. The 4 years of college was the best years of my life. I love Durgapur, and even all the close relationships I have right now, still after 24 years of college, you can look at that, like 21, 22 going on right now, 24 years of college, still have those bonds, relationships, we still meet those friends and things like that. Amazing. So those are the best years of life. So my mindset in the first 2 years was all about having fun. Just fun, and fun, doing things that will make you fun and no stress at all, like just fun. When it came to fourth year, like third year, start looking for internship and all, you realize you have to find internship. So I found some internship. I'll again using some of my connections to work in the company. And the fourth year, even though you were having fun and all, but you want to find a job. So I was lucky. I found a job through campus placement, even though I used to clear all the aptitude exams and group discussion debates, as Robin brought up. I will always kind of fail in the interview. And I realized why I failed was not prepared for the interviews. I didn't study the concepts that well to answer the interviews. And that's, I used to not prepare well. But luckily I got that job in company in Calcutta. Its name was Usha Communications Technology. Very close to my heart because that's the first company I joined. They gave me a chance to go to Europe, to USA. And from there, I went to do MBA. And honestly, again, I'm talking about my journey that might help you guys. I went to do my MBA And my MBA, I just went because I wanted to do MBA. I have no, I didn't say, oh, I will become a big shot, leadership management and all. I didn't clearly have that in my mindset, what I want from MBA and what will happen. In MBA, I was totally confused of 2 years. I was sometimes moving towards finance, sometimes towards tech leadership, sometimes towards marketing, or sometimes towards strategy, whatever. Not marketing, but strategy, finance, and tech leadership. And then I came out of MBA. I didn't find the job I was looking for, but luckily, because of my relationship with people in the Usha Communications Technology, my first job, I found a job in US in a telecom domain itself, like we were a telecom company itself. And then I got green card from them. I was back to some consulting, and I did some. I then moved to project program management. And from there, I found out Agile. And Agile was more like, I'll say, a trigger point that helped me understand so many things better. And that's why I wanted to have this topic here. Agile is something, if you understand Agile, it will help you in your own career journey. Like what is important, respect for people culture, innovation, keep improving all the time. Don't sit on your past laurels, because you have to keep improving, keep showing what you can do. And being in Agile, I realized I love to coach people. I love to serve the teams. I love to make teams become high performing team. And I love to do this training session webinars. I do Agile trainings as well. Tell people, we just covered a small piece of it. I do a lot of trainings on Agile to start with. And that's where I found my passion and all. So you asked me right now, my mindset is all about learning and growth. First, second year, my mindset was all fun. Fourth year, about finding job. Then in the job, it was mix of fun, career growth and all. Went to MBA for career growth, but then came back to telecom, consulting, program management. Now I'm at peace with me in the sense like I love to coach people. I love to be part of Agile transformation and bringing change in people's life or culture change. So I hope I answered the question, but whoever put it down, that question, and if they still have any doubts, please speak up and I can explain. But I'll tell you, first years of fun is good to have fun, but you should have your strategy. I think I was not taught properly. We should have a plan, should know what we want to do, what we want to get out of engineering. Like what is our goals of engineering? I know we are young people, 18, 19 years old, 20 years old. We still have to see the world, but have some idea that why you came to engineering. What is your passion? And that's a big thing. Find your passion. I found my passion Agile now 8 years back. I love project management, program management, so I found my passion there anyway, but Agile 8 years back. So find your passion. That's a big thing. As Robin said, entrepreneurship, this and all. So find your passion and see and then work towards that.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for answering that question also, and means you shared your whole journey also. And we are very happy that at the end you are somewhere where your passion is. That is main thing. Yeah, we have another question from another attendee. Please highlight some struggles of Indians in US except communication problem.
So communication is not, again, yeah, as I said, except communication, that's not a struggle. I said, as you can do your work properly, people don't care about communication that much, unless you are speaking public, like I am doing trainings and all. As long as you can get your work done and you can communicate that way, it's fine. Struggles, I think there's no struggle. We are doing great here. And I think if you look at all the CEOs of the company, like big companies, Microsoft, Google and all, we have all Indians there. So that's not a struggle to grow. I can say maybe 25 years back, there could be a struggle to go up in the corporate ladder, but that's gone now. That's no longer there. As you can see many examples in front of you. The struggle, I said in the beginning, the struggle I had was like go back to India, like to plan things in such a way and all. But once you start your journey here, once you find that thing, like going to India from US or going from India to your hometown from Bangalore to Calcutta or Durgapur, that way could be same. It could be little more time, but now with the pricing of air tickets, now with the technology so advanced, WhatsApp, FaceTime and all, it's not a struggle to be connected with your family or to reach out to them whenever they need you. So that way there's no struggle. There's no struggle of food or things. You have so many Indian restaurants to choose from. based on where you are in the which city you are in. So I don't know what you're looking from struggle perspective. For me right now, there's no struggle. So in the beginning also I'll say only struggle is finding a job when you're on a work permit. I can say that for sure. So if you are on a work permit and you come here to US on a work permit, you have a job. If you sometimes some companies don't hire people on work permit, they only hire people on green card and US citizenship. That's a struggle I can tell you. But if you're really good in technology, if you're really good in those fields that you can prove yourself, then companies will make an exception in hiring. I hope I answered the question, but I think I was lucky. I got my green card on time with the company that I joined after MBA. They did my green card. There was something, they substitute my green card with some other person who left the company. So I got it fast. So that way I was lucky. But yeah, struggle could be to find a job on H1B, which I found little struggle when I was getting out of MBA, because technology field it's easy. For MBA, not many companies do work permits, because when they can find local talent, why will they do sponsorship those fields? So that's the struggle I can say.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. Means I suppose means that question is answered. I have one another question that we have one feeling in our mind that we need to be real and unique and stick to our practices. But as you are saying, we need to be agile also. So agile in what ways and how? How to decide when we need to change and when we need to means stick to our own practices and habits.
Agile is all about responding to change, right? If things are changing, you just change accordingly, right? Let's say you are, so when you say practices, right? I also say never leave your values. Always stick to your values. Always to your principles. Never question your values and principles. But if that values and principles are not working for you, if there's some value principle your parents taught you, which was a great value principle that time, but doesn't apply in today's world, then yeah, be agile and don't work with that values or that principle. So I will not say change your own practices. Keep your practices, keep your faith, keep your values, keep your practices, principles. But if any value or principle that's coming in your way and doesn't make sense, be curious. Be questioning to ask that what this principle value is bringing to me, whether it's really applicable in today's world or not. If not, then change it. Then be agile. Then pivot it. Don't do it just for the sake of doing it. Definitely think through it, have an understanding of it, and respond accordingly. That makes sense? Yeah, but again, in the career as well, right? If you're growing in one career, you like it, stick to it. Grow in that career. No one wants you to change the career just like that. But if the career is not working for you, if you found something else interesting, then definitely go for it. But always look at pros and cons, what I'm doing and why I'm doing, and then pivot accordingly. Like I told my journey, right? I pivoted my journey multiple times. I was a software engineer. I was doing programming. I was not liking programming at all. Then okay, I'll do MBA. That way I don't have to program at all. Even though I was project manager before that, but I felt like to stay in this country and to get a visa, it's easy to get a visa after doing a MBA. So I took that path of getting student visa and go from there. In MBA, I was confused and all. I pivoted multiple times. In the end, I realized I went to a job and job was pretty good. Then I changed a couple of jobs, but then once I go to Agile, I love it. So sometimes you might find things, sometimes you might not find things. It's all about everyone has their own journey, own path. For some people, things happen fast. For some people, things take time to happen. But as I said, you always choose happiness. Life is good. Just choose happiness and take your journey at its own path. Don't try to cut corners. Just see what makes sense and pivot as it makes sense to you.
Yeah, thank you, Sumit. Means I would say means question is beautifully answered. Means well in depth also, beautifully answered. So moving on to our last question that we have is how to be consistent on our goals.
Okay, so consider goals, right? So that's the thing is like, first of all, you should always have realistic goals. I won't say don't have realistic goals, definitely have them in the back pocket, but always realistic goals. Realistic goals, you should look, as I said, visualize your work. So visualize your goals. Have your goals there in front of you and tell what goals you want to finish and when. Once you have them, and then see what you have to do to work towards them. Then have that plan in place as well in front of you so you can see them, how you're doing towards your goals. So again, goals can change as well. In today's, my goal was, let's say, to become a director of the company by in 20 years. I'm just making it up. Didn't happen, but my goal, now I'm in coaching path and I'm a coach and my goal has changed. My goal is now to become an agile transformation consultant. That's fine. So, or agile enterprise coach in a company. The goals can change. It can't be consistent all the time. With the situation, circumstances, and the way you tend to find things, goals change. When I was a consultant, I love consulting. I will travel to different places. I will have free food, free travel. I'll have mileage points, hotel points, all fun, right? And eating in restaurants and having those fitness centers and do all these things. But after wedding, after my marriage, and after kids, I found that consulting is not good for me. I don't want to go travel and leave my family alone, my wife alone with kids. But again, some people feel no, I would love to travel still, and my wife is okay with that. She's okay to take care of kids. It's okay to travel. Then yeah, fine. So it all depends on what circumstances you are. It's all about, again, I said, for me, family comes first. For some people, work comes first. It's all about work-life balance and make goals accordingly. You don't have to keep your goals the same all the time. The goals can also pivot based on situation. But if you want to meet your goals, you have to have them in front of you. You have to have a plan in front of you to meet those goals. If you don't plan, or you don't have the path to hit the goal, again, as I said, path can change from a straight line. There will be a lot of change in the path to go to that goal, but have them in front of you so you know what you want to get to.
Yeah. Thank you, Sumit. And now actually we are going short on time, but also we'll make it happen this time. And actually, yeah, now we are open for any questions from attendees. If anyone of the attendees have, then they can ask, or else we will be moving forward. Any one of the attendees can ask any questions. So I suppose all questions are answered. Yeah. Please.
Hello, Sumit, can I ask you something?
Sure. Who is this?
Robin. Okay.
Robin again. Go ahead, Robin. Thank you for making it interactive. I really love you, man. Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Is it like having any kind of bad effect, like to be over responsible or like to feel that I am responsible for every small thing in my area, whatever work I'm doing, no matter it's professional or personal. Like I used to focus on very minute details. So sometimes I feel that I am responsible for many things which like should be distributed among the people of my groups. But like, will it to be a over responsible person, or like you can say oversensitive, will affect my relation with other people in my group or any future like professional relationship? Like, will it affect like my personal relation also? That's a like confusion for me at this point, because like at the like before 2 years we were at home, so we don't have any kind of experience regarding that. But here, like I now came and doing projects and all the stuff on all other activities. So now I'm feeling that thing, that like I'm a little bit over responsible, and that may affect my personal relationship. So like I want to ask you a suggestion that I could balance in a way so that it can be handled.
So very good point, Robin, and I really appreciate that you have that self-awareness about yourself, which is great. So I will say in that case, what you should do as a technique is seek feedback. What they feel about you, this habit, and take it from there. Really work on it or not, because sometimes it's a good habit. I love it that someone else is taking responsibility and keeping us intact and on time. Then one less responsibility on me. So I think overly responsible is not bad, as long as other people don't feel like you're micromanaging them or things like that. It all depends on the where you want to draw a line and how people react differently. Some people might love it, they might not love it. So it's all about asking feedback, reading the room, how people are taking it, and make changes accordingly. And also I'll say about responsibility is that if you take too much responsibility on you, and don't make other people accountable, then you will be the one always working long hours.
Yeah, that's
So-
like always.
So you have to make other people accountable as well. And that's why I said the best thing to work on a team setting, on a project setting, is having working agreements in place and have people accountable for their parts and pieces of the work. And that's the main thing. But if you are very this thing and you don't want to get your grades impacted by other people work, that's okay for that situation and all. So one off is fine, but don't make it a habit all the time, because being overly responsible, what will happen that if you start dropping things, then you become what you call impediment in that case instead of getting things moving forward. What if you're out sick one day and then no one knows what to do in your absence?
Yeah, yeah, that's like may happen.
Yeah.
Have to take care of that
So
also.
yeah, seek feedback and draw a line, but that's a very good question. And look at your own path and look at your own awareness. That's again, I'm very happy you have that. I'll give you an example of I used to be a micromanagement project manager. Honestly, I'll say not micromanagement, but at least to be on top of things. Things are happening and all. I'll ask and all. And I got a feedback which I asked, like, say, it seems like you are asking things about project even when we meet on the hallway. And for me, it was more about, I was in my mind thinking, I'm asking this to build relationship. I had nothing to talk about, so I was talking about project. And they took it as micromanagement. So yeah, you have to read the audience and improve from there. And now I realized, okay, so the back pocket question for me to ask about is not the project, but more like weather, the vacation plan, spring break, family and all. So that's how you build relationship with other people, not the project.
Yeah, like okay, I realized that.
So I realized it late. That's what I'm saying. So these topics, I'm telling you, no one taught in class, no one teaches us these things. But I really realized that emotional intelligence is very important, knowing ourselves to grow. Sometimes, how many times you've seen a great technical guy who's so good, but sometimes they tend to lose their patience because the people can understand them. Because they're not able to come to the level of other people who are not as intelligent as them. You have to be emotionally intelligent and see how you can make them understand those people understand those things instead of losing your own patience.
That will be a problem for a big kind of project or any kind of team management also.
Yeah.
It brings any kind of problem. Yeah, I'll take care at the point there. Thank you. It's nice to communicate with you. Thank you again, Sumit.
Thank you. And I really want to thank all of you to give me the chance to, or a platform to present my thoughts and views on Agile and Emotional Intelligence. Really appreciate that. And I appreciate CAIR and SAIC for that. Thank you. And definitely big thanks to Payan for working with me. Good. Sorry.
Actually, India's youngsters need that most. I think like emotional intelligence is a like very kind of vacant domain in our India. Like everybody is running down in that part. So it's needed actually. A kind of revolution on emotional intelligence is needed. Like someone like you like have to take care of that. That you will like guide us and like trains the youngsters so that they can manage their like work-life balance and like get prospering in their life.
And that's what I think that's a thing, right? That's what I'm saying in the education culture. I felt like we should have a subject on emotional intelligence, honestly.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
So when you're working the policies in the future, Robin, have that policy in place where you can talk about having introduced emotional intelligence or psychological safety, whatever some psychological classes in the journey of learning. Because we ignore these things. But in today's world, when we work with teams and all, we need that psychological awareness of environment and emotional intelligence skills to be successful. And definitely agile as well. If you don't know agile, you can't be successful, honestly. You have to get few things in life, that learning and growth mindset. That's what it's all about. Yeah.
Yes. Like actually in our class, there are some kind of open electives on psychology and like brain mind connections, but they are like very less interactive. Like only the professors told them it's like a theory class. So there are not kind of many like real life experience. They don't connect actually. So it was a problem, but I think day by day we'll improve that thing also. Like, yeah. Thank you again.
You're welcome.
Yes, Sumit. Before going to end this session, actually we have one new thing at our Center for Alumni Affairs and SciSail that we wanted to introduce to you. We have one new program called STEM, that is Student Alumni Mentorship Program, where means our alumni become mentors of some of their mentees. Means the mentees will be in contact with the alumni. Means for something what they have did. So means we will be sharing the details with you. That is on our website also. So we seek for your support in that and build our alma mater and our community better.
Anytime, guys. I will be definitely like to mentor whoever wants to get my mentorship. But again, as you said, time is a constant all the time. Sometimes I feel if we can do one-to-one, one-off, but again, if we can have a more like any special topic people have interest in, and I can provide mentorship to 6-10 people in one go. We don't need to be one-to-one that way. So I'll say we should also go to the strategies where we can find people with common interest. If they want to be mentorship on, let's say, Agile, or mentorship on, let's say, IT career path or things like that, then we can have a topic and just do mentorship on that topic directly. But definitely I'm open to one-to-one as well. Like we can pick the times and all, but definitely I'll be there helping you guys out.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. That's so nice of you. And we will be sending the details with you. And you can visit our website and there you can register yourself as a mentor. And our mentees will be contacting you via that those things that you will be sharing. So,
Sure.
so this means now I am at the concluding part. This, I must say, this has been a very long and interactive session where you have put forward the minute things that actually matters in the long journey, and even things which we find stuck. Means when we think about those things, we find stuck ourselves at those things. But yeah, you have given some thumb points like we should follow these steps. These are very great and very nice. So from our Center for Alumni Affairs and Student Alumni Interaction Sale, we have one token of appreciation for you that I am presenting. Yeah, is it visible?
Yeah, I can see recording. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, please accept this.
How to accept it?
No, means I am just saying, means please.
Yeah, accept it. Yeah, accept this for sure from all of
Yes.
you. I appreciate that. I appreciate being here. And as I told you, I love to talk about things that are close to me. And I appreciate this opportunity from all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you once again, sir, for joining this session, and we wish you all the best for your future things. And also we hope for more learning opportunities from you and your kind visit to our college also whenever you visit India and Durgapur. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Thank you once again.
That's in the mind for sure. Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this recording is done, right? So we can see how we can share the recording with other folks.
Yeah.
We can get that, and we'll see how to post it. So, and